Hello, friends. My name is Allison, and I am so excited to share these new moon and Gemini pick a card readings with you today. Really interesting things came up for everybody, and I'm so excited to see how you work with this Gemini energy, this Mercury communication energy. Today we are doing things a little bit different, but just in case you are new to pick a card readings, how this works is you will choose one of the piles here, group 1, 2, or 3, and in the description box below you will find timestamps for each group, and that will take you directly to your reading. Usually you can pick just from the images that you see here, or we are actually using incense today to help connect with the Gemini energy, which is the element of air. So the first group we have here goes with this self incense. There are chipstones in here, lots of yummy herbs in here to connect you to your true, authentic self. So if that is something that calls to you, then choose pile number 1 and find that timestamp below. Group number 2 goes with this arum incense, which arum is the Latin name for gold, so this is gold incense. There are also chipstones in there, so if you feel called to this blend, pile number 2 is for you. And the last one here is breakthrough, and it has a big old stone in there, which you will see. If I can't get it to come up here, you will see it also has chipstones, but there is a big chunk in here. You're able to see it. If you decide to choose number 3, you're able to see it on that video. So if you feel called to break through, then pile number 3 is for you. I'm going to give you a moment here to take a deep breath and choose the pile that is calling to you. And if you would like to see how all of these readings collectively go together, there's a 4th timestamp which will take you to a closing statement. So that will kind of tie up all of the readings, and in a way it's kind of like a collective reading. And also we'll talk a little bit more about the Gemini new moon. So please stick around and select that 4th timestamp after you've watched your reading and hang out with us there. And I thank you so much for your support. I hope you have a wonderful, happy new moon, and I hope that you connect and resonate to these readings. I'm really excited for this energy and this Gemini energy to come through and help us communicate and help us to take a deep breath and to breathe into what's coming for this next moon cycle. So thanks again, you guys. Hello, group 1, and welcome to your new moon and Gemini reading. If you chose this self incense, then this reading is for you for the new moon and Gemini for May 2022. There are some chipstones in here as well, and this incense blend was designed specifically for connecting to your most authentic self by first stripping away all of the pieces of you until you get down to just your core essence. The symbol on here is the alchemy symbol, so this blend and this new moon sounds like for you it's going to be about really getting down to the core of who you are, and that is going to take stripping away all the different pieces of yourself that aren't authentic. So this is about getting down to the true essence of who you are. And we're using a unique tarot deck today, the Akashic Tarot. And then we also have some oracle cards as well. But let's dive, and a journaling question, or journaling prompt card from the Soul Truth deck. But let's first jump into the tarot cards here. The first one we have is the King of Scrolls, and he comes up reverse, but I'm just going to turn it over just so that you can see the image clearly. Pay attention to anything that might jump out at you about this particular image, because those might be important symbols for you to recognize. And this deck has a very unique view of the tarot. I'm still learning it, but it's my understanding that the King of Scrolls and the suit of scrolls is closely related to the sword. So if you are familiar with tarot and are wanting to kind of do your own reading while you are watching this video, this is most closely related to the King of Swords. The second one we have here is the Queen of Roses. And it's my understanding that the Queen, or the suit of the Roses, is the most comparable or similar to the suit of the Cups in the traditional tarot. And the last one we have here is the King of Forces. And he is most comparable to, or the suit of the Forces is most comparable to the Wands suit. However, this one, the Forces suit, is probably the most unique compared to the other ones, in the sense that it's fire energy, but also power and like the forces of nature, I think, is what like the Forces is portraying here. Like spiritual power, the power of the earth. So kind of a lot of earth energy mixed in with spirit energy and fire energy. So just if you're trying to like pick up your own intuitive hits from this, and as I am learning this deck along with you, that's just what I've kind of figured out so far about working with this deck. So the first thing that really jumps out about this reading is we've got all court cards here. Now, I was getting kind of a couple of different messages for this reading, and obviously because this is a collective reading, that this is going to be meant for more than one person. So of course more than one situation is going to apply to this reading. But when I have a lot of court cards come together, specifically when there's like a pair of like a king and a queen, in this case we have two kings and a queen, but I typically, that tends to mean for me usually is that this reading is involving people in your life. Because of the reversed king here, I feel like this energy of the King of Scrolls or the King of Swords is maybe the person that you are leaving, and that you are welcoming new types of people into your life. The King of Scrolls in reverse could also represent a mentor or a teacher, and you've like learned everything you can from this person, and now you're moving on to something new, maybe finding a new teacher, finding a new class or something like that, because the scrolls and the swords are all about knowledge and wisdom. But this scrolls in reverse can also represent a lack of clarity. So there are a couple things. I either feel like this is a person that you are walking away from in your life, or it's a teacher that you are moving on from, or there is something that you're not looking at clearly, and you're not understanding something. You're not being. This can also symbolize a lack of knowledge. The last thing that it can represent, if this is representing you specifically, then this is someone who has kind of used their wisdom and knowledge to be overpowering towards others. And this can also represent an abuse of power, a very egotistical, like you think you're better and smarter than everybody else. Or this could represent someone in your life that has those characteristics. But the energy that is coming in for you this month is that of the Queen of Roses. She's at the center of this reading. And the Queen of Roses, in similarity to the Queen of Cups, this is someone who is very loving and nurturing and caring. I think that this energy for some of you is talking about moving away from this egotistical way of, and only looking at the surface, only looking at what looks good on paper. And maybe you're the type A personality that you're just go all the time, and you're not actually stopping and taking care of yourself. So this next moon cycle, and what you should be setting attentions around right now, is walking away from this energy. Like, this is we want to come into a life that is loving, caring, nurturing, and treating us with kindness and respect. This is loving and compassion towards yourself specifically. I think for a lot of you, this is about loving yourself specifically, especially if you are walking away from a negative relationship. This is about you starting to take care of yourself and leaving that energy behind. At the end of this, the King of Forces, I also kind of feel like this could be an energy that you specifically are stepping into, because this card for me is about owning your power. I think the transition to loving and caring for yourself is going to help you step into your power, find your strength, find your wisdom in a very different way than what the King of Scrolls can do. The King of Forces owns their power by living and experiencing things instead of just reading it in a book. And the King of Forces feels a lot more well-rounded in the knowledge and wisdom, because you've taken compassion and the collective, and looking at the big picture and seeing things as a whole, and being open to giving and receiving, and not just hoarding this knowledge and keeping it for yourself and just holding it over other people. This is about like working together with the forces of nature, with the community, and also keeping love and compassion in that mindset. So I feel like a lot of different people in different walks of life are going to be choosing this reading. So I'm trying to portray all of the different aspects and perspectives here, because it feels like a lot. It feels like a lot of different things can be going on. If this is walking away from a relationship and into a new relationship, or just walking away from an old way of being and into a new way of being, well, let's get into the oracle cards and we can explain more that comes up. So what was the next? Oh, because the last card, of course, was the King of Forces. So I was like, okay, what forces of nature do we need to be stepping into and owning? And we got dawn, new beginnings, and music and harmony. So this is definitely a big transition for some of you, and what you have left behind is allowing you to just really embark on a new day. The new moons give us this opportunity every month to start with a clean slate and start over, but this is even more significant for you to have this card come up. Like, this is really about leaving something behind and stepping into something new. with the music and harmony, and the, just like we were talking about this earlier with the King of Forces, is this is like being in harmony with the community and having everybody in your, like having the bigger picture and the collective and love and compassion at the center of everything helps us to like treat the earth better, treat ourselves better, and treat our communities better. And this is about living in harmony with nature, living in harmony with each other. And if for you this is about leaving a relationship and starting a new one, then this is going to be a very harmonious relationship where you're just like in sync with each other and you get it. And it's going to be the total opposite of what you've been in before. I think this can also represent being in rhythm with your own rhythm and like dancing to the beat of your own drum, living your life in the rhythm that you are supposed to be in. This is what we talk about in the Just a Phase Moon Planner. If you're interested in learning how to get in sync with the moon cycle, I feel like it helps you get into sync with your own cycle. So this is about either being in harmony with somebody else, with your community, with a new relationship, a new way of being, a new stepping into this new life that is just going to be so in sync and so in flow for you. Let's see. I then asked, I just wanted to pick from the Work Your Light, because I really associate the Work Your Light and airiness with the sign of Gemini. So that's why I chose this deck. And for you, we have Soul Family, Call in Your Tribe, You Don't Have to Do It Alone, and Unbound, Releasing Old Patterns, Contracts, and Past Lives. So this again refers back to this old way of thinking, being, or this past person in your life. This is releasing you from those contracts and from even things from a past life. And sometimes, like, it's hard when we're in a negative situation, especially a negative relationship, it's hard for us to see why that happened. Why did I have to go through this? Eventually down the road, you can look back on it and have hindsight and understand why these things happened, what you learned from it, and the good that came out of it. But when you're in that negative emotion, you're not really able to see it. I think maybe because you are kind of already, I feel like this group has already started on their new beginning. So maybe this next month is going to be stepping into that energy of, I understand why I went through that. And we see all of these interactions, even if they are negative, as a gift that now I'm a different person. Now I'm stepping into my power. Now I love myself and can take care of myself. And that wouldn't have happened if it weren't for this past thing. We all come into this life with soul contracts with other people, and we choose to learn these lessons in these certain ways. And this card, I think, is just a reminder for you that you learned your lesson, you're ready for this new beginning, and you are moving on into more harmonious life or relationship, is that if this is about a relationship for you. And this is another sign for you that these new people, this new energy that's coming into your life is your soul family. You were meant to have this experience. You were meant to go on this path. You were meant to meet these people. Specifically for those of you that these are representing people in your life, you are coming into your soul family, and it's going to be more harmonious for you. So then I asked, just like, what's some energy that we can just focus on, and chose from the Everyday Witch, just because I feel like this is a really just kind of nice, light, daily deck. And we've got Meditation for Creativity. This card really speaks to stepping into your personal power as well. So this is reflecting back to the King of Forces back here. And if you are a creative person, you're using your pain and your emotions and your life experiences and turning that into art Whether that is like actually physically painting, or if you are a musician, whatever your creative path is, that it could be writing, it could be music, it could be art, it could be sculpting, and then you can put art into anything. I'm a massage therapist. I consider that to be an art form as well. So whatever your art or craft is, this experience and this time is going to help you get into flow and to channel that energy and to put it out there, because we all learn from each other's experiences. And by putting yourself out there, putting your story out there in whatever form that is, this is going to be a really good time for you to be doing that and channeling your power into some sort of creation. And because we are in a new moon in Gemini, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. This is a really communicative moon that we have here, especially while we are in Mercury retrograde. This is about learning lessons of communication. So I specifically chose a soul truth card for all of the readings today, so that we can all get out our journals and really write things down. If you are someone who is not a journaler, I recommend you really speaking these thoughts and things and intentions out loud if you're not writing them down, because this is a very communicative themed moon with Gemini and Mercury. This is about communicating what you want to the universe. This is about thanking the universe for the things that you have, for the lessons that you've gone through. And your journal question that you should really be meditating on, this is a meditation card as well, is, do I know all of my strengths, and am I using them? Do you know your power? How are you stepping into your power? How are you going to be stepping into your power? We all have superpowers, but it's up to us to uncover them. When we live and lead with our strengths, we are able to show up in our zone of genius. This inspires others to do the same. Ask yourself, how can I use one of my soul gifts today to contribute to this open and ready world? So a lot of questions to contemplate here for your new moon in Gemini. Do I know all of my strengths, and am I using them? How can I use one of my soul gifts today to contribute to this open and ready world? How are you going to put your magic out into the world? How are you going to show us and let us see your beauty? Let's get one last card for group 1 here. See what chakra we should be focusing on. I recommend also to everybody for this new moon is really working with the element of air, and this can be with feathers or your breath, using your breath work. That's why I specifically chose incense to work with today, to really use that. You can do smoke meditations of where you just gaze and stare at the smoke and see if you see any images, and use that as a divination tool. Really focus on your breath and breathing while you're doing that. This is the Gemini energy. This is the air element. And laughter is also very connected to Gemini. Gemini likes to have fun. They have that duality of where they can be serious, have one side to them, and then they just be a total jokester on the other side of the coin. So Gemini is about tapping into all of the different aspects of ourselves as well. And let's see. This card wants to come out. No worries. Remember that protection is your divine birthright. Ground your energy into Gaia with a vibrant garnet red grounding cord that you send from between your hips down into the depths of her sacred womb. Send all of your fears, worries, and concerns down that cord and feed them back into the earth where they can be transformed and transmuted, returning to you as usable white light. This is a root chakra card. The crystal is red jasper and the herb is rosemary. So maybe connecting with some rosemary incense would be good for you too. If you are having some concerns and worries about leaving this reverse King of Scrolls energy, maybe using some sort of meditation of releasing those fears and worries and putting them into the earth is going to help you not only stay grounded and connected, but when we release things, it gives us room for things to come in. So for group 1, I recommend setting intentions around releasing the worries and fears and being ready to step in to this new beginning and this new dawn. Setting intentions and action plans on tapping into your creativity and tapping into your power. Maybe doing meditation on figuring out what that power is if you're not really aware of it. I think deep down you probably do know. And also journal about this question: do I know all my strengths and am I using them? Maybe journaling a list of every strength that you can think of that you have, everything, and write it down. That way it's always something that you can come back to. If you would like to stay tuned to see how all of these readings kind of tie in together, and we do kind of just like a wrap up at the end, you can choose that 4th timestamp to take you directly there, and you will kind of get a glimpse at the other readings. See if that any of those energies you're drawn to, and you might want to watch some other group readings as well. Let me know in the comments below if this reading resonated with you. Let me know that you chose group number 1, and I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, happy, breathtaking new moon in Gemini. Hello, group 2. If you chose this arum incense, then this is your reading for the new moon in Gemini for May 2022. As you can see, there are some chipstones, and even I think there's a crystal point in there too. I chose incense to work with the Gemini new moon because Gemini is associated with the element of air. So that is just the theme for today, for today's reading. So we are using the Akashic Tarot deck for our main cards here, and then we've also got some oracle cards as well, and a journaling question for the end. The first card that we have here are the 8 of Roses, and the keyword at the bottom here is community and Sangha, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If you are familiar with tarot and like to do your own readings along with me, the Roses suit is comparable somewhat to the suit of Cups in the traditional tarot. So this is similar to the 8 of Cups. However, the meaning of this card is not... Well, okay, let's just get into the other cards first, but before I jump ahead of myself. The second card we have here are the Queen of Forces, and the Forces suit of this deck is comparable to the Wands suit. However, like the Roses, it's very different. And then the last one we have here is the King of Roses. So far, this is the second reading that I've done, obviously. And it's interesting that we've been having a lot of court cards come up, and for me, a lot of times that can symbolize people in your life, specific people. This can have to do with a relationship, but because of this is a collective reading, that might not resonate with everybody. So these could be representing you in your life right now, or it can be representing relationships specifically when we have a king and a queen next to each other. But again, that won't always resonate with everybody. But let's start off here with the Eight of Roses. You can see that this keyword is community. We've got a happy family. The key elements in this image is that there are a lot of different like statues and wall hangings and just different symbols representing different cultures and different communities. So this is a card about coming together, finding harmony and balance amongst the relationships in your life. If we compare it to the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Cups is a card of walking away from something that used to be fulfilling to you. So in this sense, I think that this is about maybe walking away from people in your life that are your blood family, but finding your new family, your soul family. The Queen of Forces in the middle here is almost like a mediator here, like totally balancing the sun and the moon and the light and the dark. The Queen of Wands, if we are comparing, is very, very sociable and is able to get along with most everybody. So I could see that comparison a little bit with this balance and harmony portrayed in this image here. However, the forces are not just fire, the element of fire, like the wands are. So this is about like power and like owning your power and being in harmony with the forces of nature, the light and the dark, the sun and the moon. In this reading specifically with this community, I feel like if this is representing you, then you are maybe like the mediator of your group of friends or your family, and you help create this balance and harmony amongst your community. And the King of Roses, also comparable to the King of Cups, is very romantic and charming. He's surrounded by flowers here. He's holding a red and a white rose. He's surrounded by yellow roses, which is sometimes used to represent sympathy and friendship is another one that yellow roses represents, I think, too. So I don't know if it's like a specific situation in your life, but maybe you finally just found your soul family, or maybe you've decided that you're a born into earth family, your blood family is maybe not the best community for you to be around. Or maybe it's that you finally have found peace and balance amongst your friends or family or your community that at one time was a little bit troubled, and now you finally found this peace and balance. So I asked for, I was really feeling called to the Work Your Light deck, and I always like to use it for the Gemini readings, but there seemed to be like a specific message that needed to come through specifically for group 2. So the first one we have here is Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. And then we have Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? And we have Lumeria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. So these combined with the tarot cards that we have here, I think that those of you that it's hard to like try to tap into all the different messages that I'm getting for all the different people. This group is releasing old soul patterns. You are maybe disconnecting from whether it's the family you were born into or the friends that you've had forever, you're now finding people in your life that are really touching you on a soul level, treating you as a whole person, really supporting you and all of the different aspects of you. I think you're just finding your community, you're finding your soul family, and maybe it's just that you have weeded out all the people that don't serve your highest good, whether that was soul patterns, contracts from past lives, or just from experiences that you've had in this lifetime and have decided to move on from that and to not just stay in negative situations because it's what you've always done or it's because they are the people that are there. I think you finally learned how to set boundaries. I think it's really important that we point out here that we are unbound, but we are also bound. So you've released yourself from your old boundaries and now you're setting new boundaries. And I also want to point out that both of the women in this image have their hands out. And the thing about setting good boundaries is that you have to still be open and ready to receive the good thing. Because if we put up too many boundaries and we are closing off our heart, we're closing off ourselves from receiving. So the positioning of these two figures is really, she's saying no to one thing, but also her heart is open to be receiving love and light and all of the good things that you have coming your way. And I really feel like this group has really been creating their soul family. Maybe your soul family has been together with you before, perhaps in Lemuria, and the star seeds are here to reawaken humanity, to remember that we can live in harmony. We can live from having love being the core of our being, the core of our community, the core of our intentions. I also felt called to ask for some angel guidance for you. So we had trust the universe and harmony and resolution. So if there is a situation in your life or some people in your life that you are kind of hesitating and scared to let go of, the universe, this is a sign that trust the universe, trust that like by letting go of something, that something good will replace it. I know that this is a really difficult thing to do, but they're so much like, it's like these people are drifting away from your life and it's going to bring this new soul family in for you. Again, I want to point out that this figure is also standing with their arms open, so be open to receiving, and you're still able to set those boundaries. Look at these three women. They're open to receiving, but they're also in control of their power, and they're able to balance everything and let the good in, let the bad out. And because the big thing about Gemini new moons is that it's important to be communicating clearly what it is that you desire, what you're ready to let go of. Write it all down or speak it out loud. It's my biggest recommendation for Gemini moons is to write down a list of everything that you want, write down what you want to let go of and burn it. Or say out loud to the moon or to the universe, to yourself. Speak out loud. Your words are so important on this Gemini new moon. So get out your journal and ask yourself, am I clear on what my soul really wants? Take out the shoulds and the limitations. Get out of your head and pay attention to your heart's desires instead. If you knew it was possible to fail, what would you do? Wherever you go, go with all your heart. Ask yourself, what is it that your soul really wants? What does your heart crave? Then take one step in that direction. So think about setting your intentions and really focus on this. If you knew it was impossible to fail, what would you do? If there were no limitations whatsoever, no money limitations, no education limitations, no shoulda, woulda, coulda, what if, but oh no, this is gonna happen. None of that. What if, like, best case scenario, someone dropped $1 million in your lap right now and said you can do whatever you want with this money? What would you want to do? What is your dream? What is your desire? And writing that down on paper. What is, like, everything, and be very detailed about it. Like, I want to go to this school and learn this technique and do this, or I want to travel. I want, like, anything, just anything, unlimited. And don't let those thoughts get in, but like, oh, that'll never happen. Don't let those get in. This is about being clear and precise. And what's one thing that you can do to make that happen? One little step that you can take every day. Figure out what that one little step is, and then next month, what's another step? Because you've already taken that first one. What's another step? And you just keep going one step at a time. You have your soul family that's going to be coming in, and we are going to create this heaven on earth together. Am I clear on what my soul really wants? Be clear. Oh, I chose the arum incense for you because arum represents gold, and there was just so much gold coming in this reading. This angel has kind of like a gold essence to it. We have the sun up here. The universe, and this community just feels so warm, like candlelight images here. We also have the yellow roses in this image. So I just really felt drawn to using the gold incense. And manifestation is about is alchemy. It's how do we take what we have and turn it into gold? How do you take the gifts that you have, the life that you have, the lessons that you've learned? How do you take that and turn it into the gold of what you really desire? So thank you so much. I hope that this reading resonates for you. Let me know in the comments below which pile you chose, that you chose group 2, and if it resonated with you. Also, we've got a closing statement at the end to talk about the Gemini new moon and kind of how all of these readings are tying in together. There's a lot of similarities just in the first 2 so far. So thanks for hanging out with us today. I hope you have a wonderful, happy new moon. And remember to scream out loud, to say out loud, to write down what it is that you really want. Let the universe know. Hello, group 3. Welcome to your reading for the new moon in Gemini for May 2022. If you chose this beautiful breakthrough incense, then this is your reading. I just wanted to shake it up for you because there is a really large crystal in here, along with some chip stones, which is kind of fun and exciting to see that it's in there. Oh yeah, there we go. So this incense is about breaking down those barriers and walls that might be holding you back. And I chose incense for today's readings because of the moon in Gemini being of the air element, and the air element, working with the air element is about working through incense, with feathers, with anything that represents the element of air to you, especially your breath. This is all, if you don't have feathers or incense, you can always work with your breath. So I highly recommend that for this new moon. We are using the Akashic Tarot today. And then we also got some extra oracle cards here too, and a journaling question. So, starting off with the tarot, we have for you Uriel and the Sphinx. So this is a very unique deck, and I guess it's just helping me to learn it a little bit by comparing it to the traditional tarot deck. However, the meanings of the cards here are very different, as well as the suits. Number 21 in the traditional tarot deck is the World. Whether or not you feel like this card represents that or not, but I just, as I'm learning this deck, I'm just trying to like make those associations and connections as best I can. So the next one we have here are the Four of Scrolls, and the keyword here is karmic trench. The scrolls are associated a little bit to the suit of the swords. However, this deck is just very unique and very different. And the last one we have is the Six of Scrolls. The Sands of Time is the keyword here. So the thing that immediately jumped out at me was the work that you're going to need to be doing, and it's going to involve digging a little bit deeper than maybe you've already done. The Sphinx holds all of the ancient wisdom and knowledge, including like the Akashic records and the unknown. There's so much mystery involved. What is underneath the sand, what is underneath the surface level. We also have these plowed rows here. So this is also digging. We're digging in sand, we're digging in dirt, and we also have the Sands of Time on this last card here. So there's a lot of maybe themes of feeling buried or unburying things, uncovering things. The Sphinx specifically has like underground knowledge. The karmic trench is a card about you've been doing the work, but you've only done half of it and only just scratched the surface. And this is due to self-sabotage and kind of stopping in the middle, stopping yourself for whatever reason that is. So this is about breaking karmic ties that are holding you back for whatever reason. You think that you're not deserving, or you shouldn't go forward, or you lose faith or trust. Something is preventing you from plowing this entire field that's going to help you uncover your true path and your true purpose. And time is of the essence for you with this Sands of Time card. Time is almost running out in this hourglass, and I'm kind of getting the message to excuse my language, but if you watch my live streams, you know that I kind of have a sailor's mouth. Shit or get off the pot. Like, why are you sitting on this wisdom and this knowledge and this power? Like, you are meant to be doing something, and you're stopping yourself. So stop stopping yourself is like, I almost feel like my guides are like screaming at me. This, I don't know, this message might be for me too. But so let's see what guidance we can get from the oracle cards here. We have trust your path. And if you notice in this card, there's almost looks like plowed fields there. I know those are just like wind or I don't know, like desert paths. But it looks very similar to these trenches that we have here. And it says, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? We also have unbound. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. And priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? So again, with these cards, I'm getting the message of like, you are meant to be the leader, the priestess, the keeper of the knowledge and the wisdom. You're meant to unlock it. You're meant to find it. You're meant to dig it up, unbury it from the depths of whatever past things you have buried it under for whatever reason. You are being supported on your path, and that's what called me to pick some angel cards for you. Holy love, you are totally surrounded, protected by spirit, and they are cheering you on. They're yelling at me to yell at you to keep going. Take charge and take action. All of these images here are very like staring you in the face, like, when are you going to step up to the plate? I see you. I'm watching you. I'm guiding you. I'm holding you. I'm supporting you. When are you going to step up to the plate? He's staring at you. When are you going to take charge and take action? He's waiting with his hands open. When are you going to take his hands and continue on your path? She's also got her hands open, waiting for you. When are you going to take charge and take action? How are you being called to step up and lead? Step up to the plate. Take charge. Take action. And why are you resisting it? What do I resist feeling right now? We have to feel it to heal it. In order to let go of pain, we first have to honor its existence. Emotions are like waves. Some are soft, some are fierce, some are layered, and some will sweep you off your feet. When we allow ourselves to feel it all, we can then release what no longer serves us. Allow yourself to feel this wave. Let it move through you, no matter how long it lasts. Then release it back into the ocean. Feel it, heal it, enjoy the sweet freedom within your soul. So do you get these like little glimpses of power where you feel it and you feel divinely connected, but then you're like, oh no, that I can't do that. I'm not good enough to do that. I'm not powerful enough to do that. I'm not smart enough to do that. I don't have enough money to do that. What if you have these divine moments? Connect to it, hold on to it, and don't let go, because you are meant to be on this path. There are so many paths here. There are these paths and these rows that need to be undug and need for you to follow. You are being divinely guided. Release those old patterns. This specifically, you are getting in your own way. With this karmic trench card here, you are getting in your own way. Stop it. Stop it, because you know you're better than that. You know you're worthy. You know you're capable. You know you're powerful. You know you are the priestess. You got to step up. You got to do the thing. Do the thing. We're going to get a chakra card for you. So set intentions around this new moon for breaking through these barriers that you have blocked your own way and your own path. Use your breath to blow it down like the three little pigs. Blow, huff and puff and blow those walls down. What chakra should group 3 be focusing on today? Notice if there are any images that are jumping out to you. Self-trust. The time has come to really trust who you are and love yourself fully. If there are parts of you that are out of alignment with your faith or your values, call them into alignment now so that you feel better and more integrated. Then trust your intuition and inner knowing without question. going as much as you can with the flow of your desires and passions. Cultivate your higher self as a trusted ally and seek its voice in meditation. This is a solar plexus chakra card. Crystal is citrine and the herb is Melissa, also known as lemon balm. Get yourself some yellow sun power energy from citrine. But you always have your breath. You always have your breath and can always work with your breath. This Gemini new moon is asking us to communicate clearly to the universe what our intentions are, what we want to do. So journal about it, write it down, or verbally speak it out loud so that the universe knows that you are listening, you're connected, you're committing, and do the thing. Do the dang thing. Happy new moon group 3. Please stick around to see how all of the readings are connected to each other and more about the Gemini new moon. That will be immediately following this, or you can click on the 4th timestamp for the closing statement. Otherwise, I hope I see you there. Let me know in the comments which group you selected, group number 3, and tell me if it resonated. And I appreciate your support and feedback. Thank you. Happy new moon, everybody. How did you feel about your readings? Let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. So first, just a little bit while I'm shuffling, group 2 did not get a chakra card. So I'm going to shuffle a card for group 2 while I'm talking here. And let's just say that it will also be a collective card for everybody who decided to stay tuned for the closing statement here. So the new moon in Gemini, we are also in Mercury retrograde. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is also in the sign of Gemini. So the moon and the Mercury the moon and Mercury is in the same sign, the sign of Gemini. So this really enforces communication. Words are power. You are powerful. So really be clear about your intentions. Be journaling and working through any negative thoughts that come up when you think that I want to be successful. And any negative thought that comes up that challenges that brings that down, that tries to block it and push it away, work through that, heal it, challenge it. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't work through those thoughts, challenge them and say, well, I can make time. I can save money. I can believe and I can take one step at a time and keep going, because you need to be clear and you need to get rid of those negative thoughts. Release those negative thoughts. They come up for a reason. They're meant to keep us safe and in our comfort zone, and that's okay. We thank those thoughts for trying to keep us safe and protected, but we want to move on. We want to move forward. We want to be better. We want to be happier. We want to be healthier. We want to be successful and loved and held and cared for. We want to create a better community for everybody who lives here. We want to take care of our earth. We want a better future for our earth and everything and everyone on it. So keep your thoughts positive, and we can move forward. Keep your words positive and we can move forward. Be very clear and precise with your words. I encourage you to speak them out loud, speak your intentions out loud, and also write them down. Writing is magic and writing is power. Speaking your truth is very powerful as well. So what is the chakra that we are going to focus on for group 2, but also anyone who's here now? We've got love connection. There is an intelligence in the heart that cannot be denied or even explained, only felt. You are sifting through old layers of discontent, connecting with the authenticity and the divinity of who you are now. Your heart is teaching you that all you have ever desired or imagined had always been within you, awaiting your intention and courage to allow it. New allies will arrive to you soon in human form. You have attracted them, and they will easily align to this frequency of your heart-based connection. This again is the heart chakra card. The crystal is girasol, and the herb is lavender. This is really interesting to come up for group 2. I hope some of you that chose group 2 are here, because group 2 was all about finding your soul family and connecting with your community. They had this community card here. So this is very, very true for group 2, but I think that all of us need to find our love connection to ourself, to our heart, to our authenticity. So it can go as a collective card as well. But first of all, you guys, how all of these groups connected here is that we have a lot of king and queens in our community here, and that's perfect, because that is my exact intention, is for you all to be the priestess. Oh, my candle just went out. To be the priestess of your own world, to be the king or queen or ruler, to create the life that you want, to be the change that you want to see in the world, but to understand that you have the power and you have the control of your life. Nobody else does. Nobody else is going to support you the way that you can, and always and definitely and unconditionally support yourself. So all of the readings here, specifically group 1 had 2 kings and a queen. Lots of power here in this first group. Group 2 also had a king and a queen. And group 3 did not have any royal cards, but they did have Archangel Uriel and the Sphinx. This was the only group that had a major arcana card come up, and I think this Gemini new moon for the collective is speaking to that power, speaking to understanding that we all have power, and we have the power to change our life, to shape our world, and to manifest the things that we desire. And this is about owning up to that power and being a better person, being a better leader, and setting a better example for yourself and for others in your community. The community was also a big message. I mean, I mentioned earlier that group 2 had the actual community card, but a lot of the messages that came through with all of the groups was really just only keeping people in your life that serve your highest good and that treat you with respect and the love that you deserve. All of the groups had a similar message of finding your soul family and releasing the things that don't serve you. Every group got this card, Unbound, Releasing Soul Patterns, Contracts, and Past Lives. So I'm going to read directly from the book, because when a card comes up multiple times in any reading, I know that it is meant for more than one person and for all of us to hear. So I'm going to read, if I can find it. It is time to release old soul stories that have been playing out in your life. They are coming up to be healed. There has never been a safer time to clear these patterns than right now. Take a look at the patterns in your life that you are ready to release. Ancient vows and contracts your soul made that have an expiring date. It could be a vow of silence or chastity or poverty. It is time to unwind from them. This is the life in which you free yourself from trauma of past lives. What old ways of being have an expiration date? When you name them, you claim them, and they stop holding power over you. When acknowledging these old patterns, it is also important to acknowledge how they have served you up until now. For example, a soul pattern of playing small caused by a soul fear of being seen or sharing your voice would have served you by keeping you safe. In order to grow, you now need to soften by receiving and calling in support. It is time to unbind from the old ways of being that are no longer sustainable. Hold this card on your heart and repeat after me. I release old soul stories, vows, contracts, and patterns that are no longer aligned with who I came here to be in the present time. I carry the lessons, growth, and gifts, but I no longer choose to live the same story. May I be unbound, unbound, forever unbound. Say that out loud, write it down. Screenshot it if you need to screenshot it. I release old stories, vows, contracts, and patterns that are no longer aligned with who I came here to be in the present time. I carry the lessons, growth, and gifts, but I no longer choose to live the same story. May I be unbound, unbound, forever unbound. And just for good measure, let's say it a third time. I release old stories, vows, contracts, and patterns that are no longer aligned with who I came here to be in the present time. I carry the lessons, growth, and gifts, but I no longer choose to live the same story. May I be unbound, unbound, forever unbound. So last but not least, I wanted to read these journaling questions because, like I said, I really cannot enforce this enough. Write things down, journal them, speak them out loud. Do I know all of my strengths? Am I using them? Write down a list of every strength, every strength, and list it so that you can come back to it, continue to add to it. Am I clear on what my soul really wants? Connect to your heart chakra. Is what you're going for and doing really the thing that you want? Or are you just going for something that is available or easy or comfortable? And what do I resist feeling right now? Don't hide those negative thoughts. Let them come up so that you can let them go and release them and say, this no longer serves me. I don't believe this anymore. I believe in new, bigger, better, abundant, financially stable, prosperous things for myself. I don't believe these old thought patterns anymore. But don't think that because you have a negative thought that you have to push it down and suppress it because you're ashamed of this negative thing. It has to come up. Say it out loud, release it, let it go. It doesn't serve you anymore. So again, for the third time, pay attention to your voice, pay attention to what you're writing. Your words are magic. Connect to the air element and wisdom with your breath, using incense, using feathers, wings, thinking of visualizing the wind and what that means for you, and connect to that air element because it is the breath and the wisdom and the knowledge and the air element that gives us this wisdom. Because ignorance is bliss, So the wisdom is what helps us move forward. It's what helps us change and grow and transform. So we thank the element of the air We thank the guardians of the east. The east is the direction of the dawn and the sun and the new beginnings. And that's what the new moon gives us too. A clean slate, a fresh start, a new dawn, a new day, a new life. And I'm here for it. I'm here to see you change and transform into the new best version of yourself. Because I think one of my gifts is that I can see the soul and not necessarily the mask that you are wearing or saying or speaking. So I see you. I see that greatness in your soul, and I can't wait for you to show the rest of the world. So thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if this resonates with you. And I hope you have a happy, airy, breathtaking new moon.